This has been the third rail, and every time a couple of people bravely stand up and offer a few tepid campaign finance reforms, they get crushed. But Citizens United is the beginning of uh, this darkest period in our modern history, because essentially what it says is money is speech. If you have more money, you have more speech. If you have more speech, you can drown out everybody else. And that's why sitting behind Trump when he was inaugurated were billionaires. They were not Supreme Court members. You've pointed this out here, right? And that is how the balance of power in our society has shifted, and we can see it. Take this big ugly bill that is in front of the Senate right now, and this provision that there shall be no regulation of AI by any of the states for the next 10 years. I mean, ludicrous, dangerous, preposterous. And who put it there? Citizens United put it there. John Roberts put it there. Elon and Peter Thiel and the others helped him get there. But this is, we see this all over the place, particularly since we're living. And again, I don't understand it, Norm. I mean, we only have well, let's go a little longer. But I don't understand how the American people tolerate the level of corruption in the United States government right now. Where Trump is like issuing Trump phones, changing everything. I thought about what you were saying about voting, because I thought in any sane country at this point, they're planning how do they move to electronic voting, which with blockchain and so forth, you can make quite secure. Well, the Republicans are dead set against it because it makes it easier to vote. Meanwhile, they're pushing hard to make Bitcoin and cryptocurrency sort of a replacement for the dollar, despite all those issues with that. But talk to me a second about when you're lying in bed at night after completing a Ironman triathlon or whatever it is you do at the end of the day to unwind. You're like, what about this corruption? Don't the American people care? Is this going to become the norm too?
So a couple of explanations for that. One part of it is that when we've had scandals before, they're in administrations or involving groups of people who have one or two, and the press corps covers them for days or weeks and in depth. Let me even take you back to what was a non-scandal, Whitewater with Bill Clinton, where he and his wife Hillary had invested in a land deal because, some friend of theirs said this is a great deal, and it turned out to be a bust, and they lost money on it, and it had nothing to do with any official conduct. The New York Times ran, I don't know how many, more than a dozen full front page above the fold, huge headline stories with 3 or 4 pages inside. And the signal that's sent to the rest of the media world, and then ultimately to a country, most of whom don't pay a lot of attention until something really penetrates. Oh, this is a big deal. And it did as much to damage the Clinton presidency and the Clintons as anything when it was a non-story. What Steve Bannon got right about so many elements of what Trump is doing is if you flood the zone with scandals, with outrageous autocratic actions, we do not have a press corps that can handle it. They might do something for a day and then it disappears. And if you're not paying the kind of attention that you and I pay to what's going on in this country and around the world, if you're living your life, you're working, you're dealing with family matters, whatever it might be, this stuff is just going to wash right over you and you're not going to understand it. And then I think we have another set of problems. One is, as Daniel Patrick Moynihan wrote, we've defined deviancy down. Corruption is not what it used to be. That's partly because the Supreme Court has redefined corruption so that most of what we know is full-scale corruption. They say, nah, that's just normal politics. That's John Roberts' handiwork yet again. And then we have another reality, which is, let's take CNN. How much time has CNN devoted to the scandal of Joe Biden and the cover up of his mental condition, in which it became, in effect, the home shopping network for Jake Tapper and his book? And how much do we put that alongside what they've done to cover Trump selling access to the president for $5 million for a private dinner, $1 million for a dinner with a few tables, to creating a Trump phone and a Trump media company, knowing that the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission that regulates these things, is run by a Trump lickspittle, Brendan Carr. And so all the other cell phone companies and electronics companies know that if they don't open up the doors to what Trump is doing, then the FCC is going to go after them. And then you've got the Trump coin and selling the coin. And we have companies openly admitting that they're buying $20 million worth of Trump coins that goes right into his pocket. Utterly worthless thing, so they can get access to him.
Or
How
that
many
mother,
coins are you getting on this?
the mother who gave $1 million to Trump to get a pardon
Pay
for her
pardon,
son.
pay for play pardons, and pay for play to get access to the president, and all going right into his pocket. We have, David Frum wrote a piece in the Atlantic basically saying, we've never seen corruption like this in America, not even anything close. You see it in Russia, you've seen it in many African countries, um, and it's shrugged at by
Well,
our mainstream
and
press.
and look, last time around, Jared walked away with $2 billion to manage, despite never having managed anything at all. Currently, Trump has got business deals in, I don't know, a dozen more countries around the world. Everywhere he goes, they're doing it, including many countries who are not, our allies. I recall they were doing one in Serbia, in which they were supposed to help erect a monument condemning NATO as part of the deal for the thing.
Yeah.
And we've just sort of all swallowed hard and said, yeah, this is the norm. And we have to contend with the future. We can't just say, oh, Trump's particularly corrupt. It'll go away when we get rid of him, because look at Congress. Look at your friends in Congress who are buying and selling stocks based on insider information now openly. Oh, there were two guys. I saw a story the other day, a Democrat and a Republican, who bought a bunch of defense stocks before Israel attacked Iran. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, I can give you 100 examples of it. It wouldn't be tolerated in any other country.
No, and it's defining deviancy down yet again, and these are going to be precedents for the future, and it's deeply disturbing. And I should add, it's not just Trump and not even just the people in Congress. We know that he's used the threat of tariffs to shake down countries. So countries that are savvy enough basically have been saying, okay, we'll put up a Trump golf course, resort, casino, and we'll have a different kind of deal on the tariffs. We know that many countries were told that if they didn't install Elon Musk's Starlink terminals, they would face higher tariffs. We also know that Elon Musk himself, when he went to create DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, what an ironic name, that his first goal was not it wasn't just blowing up government. It was taking out the agencies and the officials who were trying to regulate his misconduct, the misconduct of his companies, workplace misconduct for Tesla, safety misconduct for SpaceX, and more. And he succeeded in basically undermining all of those efforts, what government does to maintain safety and honesty. So this is all over the place, and we know it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, and by the way, the reason that Elon was brought to heel by Trump was, I think, a clear threat to a bunch of his businesses that depended on government contracts,
Yes.
and which Trump made publicly. Publicly, he said maybe we should cut off all the contracts. And within days, Elon was, I've thought better of this. And so it's just astonishing.